Hey guys, this is Calvin with Improver. Today I want to give you a brief getting started video on the #1 continuous improvement software available. Improver is built to help you create a thriving culture of continuous improvement within your organization. And this means engaging everyone in improving something important every single day. Improver includes several key powerful features such as the dashboard, the project board, the storyboard, Improver University, and several other very powerful features such as gamification, artificial intelligence, root cause analysis, best practice sharing, autonomous performance management, certificates of achievement, and so many more amazing tools. So let's dive into the software and I'll show you how to use these features and where to find them. When you first log into Improver, it's going to drop you off at the dashboard. Here, you can sort by company, location, team, or just yourself. You can perform a search to find the specific project or story or root cause analysis or any item in the site that you want to find right away. You can also filter by date and, of course, sort by business impact. The first thing you see, almost like a billboard right in front of you, is the business impact that you've created through your continuous improvement efforts. This creates a great report out to say, hey, here is the return on our investment ultimately, and makes a great case for continuing the great work you might be doing with continuous improvement. Here you can filter by to do. This is almost the agile terminology. To do, meaning these are items that are slated to be done. You got items that are in the doing status, which are the items that are underway, and you got items that are done, meaning they're in the books. We're already capturing the gains, and you can plan for future work. So right underneath that, you got top projects, and I'll explain more about how that piece works and how to set up a project and get it running. You got top stories. These are more Toyota Kata or agile type of projects where you set the goal first and then you implement a series of actions that help you move closer and closer to your goal. Then you got root cause analysis. These are 5 whys and why tree type of RCAs that you establish your train of logic that leads you to a potential root cause from which you can create a follow-up action and then track that action to completion as well. Last but not least, it's got your action items, and these include all the items that are assigned to you or by you to others that you can continue to track and monitor until they're completed. A couple of things to note on the dashboard here that I think you'll find of interest. One of my favorite tools is the communication dialogue that goes here. So behind every item here on this dashboard, you've got a little comment box here, and here you've got 2 messages. You can flip that item over, and on the back, you've got a conversation taking place. So this houses the conversation around this work or this project in specific. So on here as well, you can see a status bar, backlog, to do, doing, done, and then verified, right? So you got a third-party verification on the completion of projects as well. You can click show more and it'll show the complete catalog of projects that you have on deck. Stories are the same. You got this stories conversation here. You can click here, submit, maintain a conversation on the back of a stories item as well. And the same is true for root cause analysis and each individual action item here. A couple other things you'll find here, invite other users. Here's where you can add first name, last name, email, choose your relationship type with them, no relationship, fellow, or direct employee, hit send, and you've essentially added them either as an employee to Improver with all the relationship criteria set up, or you have invited them to join Improver as an outsider. A couple other key things here. You got a tab here for messages. This is a very powerful messaging functionality. You could just enter a keyword here. Meeting, for example, it will tell you basically give you a log of all the times that keyword was used in a conversation. So you can pull up that item more directly. So for example, can we set up a project review meeting for this in Project Hero? You can click on that, it'll find that item, and it'll find the conversation around that project right here, right? So very powerful messaging tool, works kind of like a WhatsApp or a Facebook Messenger, but it's all built into here. so that you can house all the continuous improvement conversations in one convenient location. Another piece here is the performance tracker. This works great with the storyboard, the strategy deployment feature. I'll show you guys more about that in a moment. And also there's a bank account. So stick with us and we'll get that far as well. Okay, so let's start a new project. Okay. To start a new project, you can click this plus sign here. You can also click the drop down here and go create improvement project. But I think this is simpler. For simplicity, we'll start here. Click this plus sign. It wants to know the name of your project. We'll call this project Getting Started. We're going to assign this project to Carlos, and we're going to move it to do status. And when you move it to do status, it wants you to assign a date, a due date, and we will call it July 27th of 2025. We expect this to have a cost savings of about $50,000, a productivity increase of about 15%, and it's going to cost $5,000. More or less, I'm just giving you an example. Okay. Now, when a project is near completion, you're going to have people actually approve of the numbers that are being claimed here. And I'll show you more about that in just a moment. You can attach documents. You can upload files. You can insert comments. And you're all set to go. So from here, you can either edit your project or you could just view it on your dashboard. We're actually going to go and edit the project so you can see what that looks like. Okay, so here you got a little more detail about your project. You can add a thumbnail. It gives you a default thumbnail just so you get the broader color scheme of the software and how it looks at items. You've got yellow, green, and blue. Yellow is for to do, green is doing, and blue is done. Okay, so what you see here is the project manager. The initiation date is today. You've got the target completion date, and you've got a description of the project. Over here, you've got a list of the benefits that you've assigned to this project, of which the various stakeholders, like maybe finance or accounting, might come in and say, you know what, this savings is legit. I've seen the supporting material. You may have some files uploaded here to support your claim for savings, and they would check off, say that they have validated and agree with those savings. You may have a different person sign off here. Once you get those sign offs, here's what that looks like. You can see the record there. Next thing you would do is add team members. So then I'm going to add Maria, Dana, and one other person, and Dean. And there you go. So you've got your team there. This will give them special privileges and access. What you can do also is start a team chat conversation so that all the messages that are shared amongst the team are housed in one seamless location. So here's the project. You can include a comment. There you go. And send. All of your team members will receive that message instantly. All right. The next thing you want to do is add new action items. And let's start with, we're going to collect data. We're going to assign this one to Maria. And we're going to change the status to do and assign a due date. We want to do this in the next 2 weeks. Here you can add before and after pictures as well. Why don't we do that? Let's go with the before picture. Looks something like that. And an after picture that looks something like this one. These are optional fields as well. Expected outcome, comment. Let me just add something here just to see how this flows through. And you can also attach supporting documents for this as well. Photos, spreadsheets, Word documents, whatever you might want to include, and hit save. Okay. And once that's added, now you have an action item. And what's cool about these is you got a really cool visual effect where items can be managed simply by dragging from one status to the other, right? Here's the thing I wanted to show you on the comment. This was the comment I added inside the creation of this item. It's also here as well. So here's Maria. It's due 5/20. She's got a couple of weeks here, but let's say Maria gets this done early. You can simply drag and drop it to the next category here, doing, right? And see the number here updated as well. So I'll add another item just for you to see. Example, item 2. We're going to assign this to Dean. There he is. I'm going to add a date, the 24th, and I'm not going to add anything else. I'm going to hit save. And there it is. See, you've got one item here, one there. Eventually you'll have some here too. But let's say that this item is done completely. Drag it over. There it is. See the image change to the completed image. And now it's positioned to be verified by either a project manager or the project manager supervisor. We changed the status there. Notice there's a kind of top edge line here that turns black, right? I don't know if you noticed that it was blue before, it then turns black. Really cool. One other thing I want to call out here is that you can actually assign people outside of your company to join your project. And you can also assign action items to people outside of your company. And here it is. And by creating and assigning this item to someone outside of the company, it invites them to Improver so that they can manage this item from their own Improver project board. Okay, so that's that for the project management feature. It's got some other stuff, but I'll let you play around with it. You can, a lot of it's very intuitive. You'll probably figure out how to use it the way you want to use it. Down here, you've got some learning materials that come directly from Improver University. For example, Introduction to Autonomous Maintenance, uh, having difficult conversations, A3, problem solving download. So these are tools you can download. You can take courses, you can watch webinars, you can listen to podcasts, you can read blogs. It's got everything you might need. And all of this content is tailored based on the specific needs of your given project. So it's using artificial intelligence to identify the ideal content for you given your current situation. Okay. Next thing I want to show you is the storyboard. Just showing you the main key features that you might use. Okay, so here's the storyboard. I'll walk you through what's here, and then we'll set up a new goal from scratch, and so you can see how it's done. So it's Mike Harrison's storyboard. He's got a challenge to decrease unit cost to $300, right? Mike's challenge is input automatically based on his manager's goal, right? So he's a challenge here, has a goal here. So Mike's boss's goal is to decrease unit cost to 300. Mike and everyone on his team, his peers, so to say, would have the same challenge, right? So you got a common challenge across the team. Then each individual user creates a goal. And here's Mike's goal to decrease unit cost to $30. So Mike has chosen a goal that's in line with his boss's challenge, but he might scope his goal based on his domain or area of ownership. He's got an achievement date of 6/21/2024. He started at 50. He's still at 50. He's trying to get to 30. So he hasn't made much improvement yet. And 6% of the time on this shot clock, so to say, has already expired, right? So you can see he's 6% of his way into it, and he hasn't made any improvement at this stage. So over here you've got a chart, and it's called a gap chart. And what it's showing is where you are versus where you should be at this point in time. So here's Mike. Here's where he started. He's still there, but this is where he should be, right? He's at 50. Quantity there is 50. He should be at 48 by now, right? Because he's trying to go from 50 to 30, right? And by the end of his term, it's achieved by date 6/21, he should be at 30, essentially, because 30 is his goal, right? So great chart to see where you are versus where you should be. Great visual. Down here, you've got a log of iterations. And essentially what it's showing is what you've done. This is where it would populate. It shows what you have to do or what you have, planned to do and what you expect to learn from it. This is like a log of experiments that you might see with a Toyota Kata or Agile or some of the other popular frameworks. What else is cool in here is that you can add notes. So for example, you might add, if you're doing Toyota Kata, you might add obstacles. What are your obstacles that are keeping you from success? You might upload an image. Maybe you've made an improvement. You want to show the image, or you want to show an image of the problem, and here's where you would add that to the story. Any other conditions, you can add as many notes as you want to add. So I'm gonna add another one here that says, I just want to include maintenance in the next Kaizen event, hit save, and it stores that as a note as well. Another thing you might do if you're doing Kata or 4DX or Agile is you might show some of the other current conditions or kind of describe reality as it is today is there's really unlimited what you can use this space for. Okay, and then further down, you've got suggestions, results achieved, and the coin ledger. I'll show you what those mean. So suggestions is the same thing as on the projects. Is looking at what you're working on and suggesting learning material for you, or tools to download and so forth. Results achieved is a results of a story, for example, and it creates this really cool certificate of achievement that looks something like this. So this captures the results of the story work that you've done, the project work that you've done. So, for example, decreased hunger has a business impact of 49K, has the direct manager who certified the achievement and signed off as well. So this is something you can print, you can frame, you can hang up on the wall, you can put in sit on your desk at work. This is a great way to recognize the great work that people are doing. Very low cost way to recognize great work. And we've got the coin ledger here, but I'm actually going to show you another feature where you'll see the full benefit of the coin ledger. So let's do that now. Let's jump into the bank account. Before we do that, one thing I'll quickly show you is in this little side panel that slides out, you can see your team. And if you're having regular coaching cycles, let's say weekly, Mike wants to pull his team together, have a weekly coaching cycle. The format is usually, hey, what's your goal? What'd you do last and what you learned from it? And what are you going to do next? Very simple 3-step format. And that done on a consistent basis keeps the improvement train on the tracks and rolling. And of course, if the goal is set in the proper direction, then you got the train running at the right direction as well. Just so you can get an idea for how to set up a goal if you're starting from scratch, why don't we go through that process as well? So now I'm going to close out my current goal. Start tracking costs is done. My unit cost is now 30. So I've effectively achieved my goal. What did I learn from this? I click next. So here's where I can pivot my goal. So if I were to go no change, it means I want to keep going in the same direction. I don't want to change my goal. But if I hit change, it's actually going to take me to a workflow that allows me to establish a new goal. So here's my boss's challenge, decrease unit costs. So I'm going to go next. So I'm also going to focus on unit costs because I feel like there's more opportunity. And right now we're at $30 a unit, and we want to get to $21 a unit. And we want to do this by September 27th. I hit next, and it wants to know how often I will be making PDCA cycles. So we're actually going to go weekly. We're going to make an improvement every week, probably have a coaching cycle every week. I hit next, and it wants to know what action I'll complete next. And this time we're going to conduct a root cause analysis on major cost drivers. And what we expect is to identify the top issues. Hit next. Okay, that's it. And give it just 1 second. And there it is. It reloads the page. So again, challenge, decrease unit cost to $300. My goal is now to get unit cost down to $21 by 6/24. I'm starting at $30. I'm still at 30 because I just started, and I'm going to 21. No time has passed yet. Got a brand new fresh chart, and I'm going from 30 down to 21 by 6/24. Got my first item in here. Boom. And I've got suggestions and so forth. So notice I just earned a couple coins just now, and that's the storyboard. So with this, let's dive into the bank account. You just click on your cash total. It will take you into your bank account. And you can see that Mike here has an available balance of 1,426 coins. Mike can either gift those coins to someone else. Let's say that Dana, I want to gift Dana 10 coins for helping with a project. Can hit send, it gives a confirmation, you confirm, and boom. The coins have been shared with Dana. I'll show you below where that's managed. But for this remaining balance, 1416 here, Mike can actually purchase things that his manager has made available to purchase. For example, a dozen donuts for the conference room, a cup of coffee, paid time off, pizza party for the team, Super Bowl tickets, paid vacation to Hawaii. Go crazy with this. All these are totally customizable and to be made available by Mike's manager. When Mike's manager makes that item available, he or she would also set the cost for that item. So, for example, the Hawaii trip would be 20,000 coins, whereas a cup of coffee would be 20 coins. So, be reasonable, set your prices to motivate the people to achieve more. And down below you have the ledger. And what the ledger shows you is basically a history of transactions for the coins that you have earned and used. So here's the example of the cash gifted, 10 coins for helping with the project. You can earn coins by adding action items. You can earn coins by adding data points. You can earn coins by completing action items. This three here. So everything you've earned, it tells you what you've earned and how you earned it. So this gives you an idea on what actions generate the most value. Okay, the last thing I'll show you today is the strategy deployment page. What this shows you is a cascade of priority and status for everyone's continuous improvement goal within the company. This is a great way to, again, get everyone improving something important every day. So we'll start at the top. Jack is let's call him the CEO of the company. Jack sets a goal to decrease unit costs to 300. Jack's goal would cascade to be an input from Mike's goal, and his other administrator's goal, and they would set a goal scaled or scoped to their specific area of responsibility. So Mike sets his own goal. Then Mike brings his team in. They each set their own goal, and then each team member basically repeats the same process, right? So at each level, the goal is scoped to, again, the individual's scope of responsibility or domain. So if everyone on Mike's team is successful, if the goals are set accordingly, then Mike will be successful. So it sets Mike up to support the success of his team by, again, setting and aligning goals, but also removing the roadblocks that might keep them from achieving. On the left side, you can see a quick status of all of the goals, to-do items, projects, and so forth for any given user within the site. The last thing I want to show you, a feature that is brand new to Improver, is the artificial intelligence root cause analysis feature. Let's jump into a new one here so I can show you. So the first thing we need to do is input a title and description to the problem we're trying to solve. So let's do that. So here I want to reduce the amount of time it takes to onboard new employees. So what I'm going to do is click here. It's going to start a new swim lane. And there it is. Artificial intelligence generates a potential cause, right? So now I want to add a contributing factor. Why is that? Got an inefficient onboarding process. Why is that? Okay, we got outdated or missing training materials. Why is that? Okay, so I think I've gotten to my root cause. I'm going to hit potential root cause. And from that, I'm going to create a follow-up action. And there it is. Create new training material for critical processes. I'm going to assign this to myself, but of course I can change this. Actually want to assign this to, I'm going to assign this to Maria. Status is to do. It's got 513. It's giving me 1 week to get it done. And I just hit save and we're off and running. So there you are. Artificial intelligence, root cause analysis. You guys jump into that, have some fun with it, play around with it, and I would love to hear your feedback on that experience as well. There you have it, a brief getting started overview on Improver software solution, #1 continuous improvement software. Jump in, have some fun, and please give us your feedback on what ideas for improvement you may have as we are also practicing Kaizen internally. Have an amazing day. Thank you.